Hello and welcome to the big picture. As the NDA government celebrates its 1 year in office, we at the big picture here have been looking at various areas and sectors and discussing and analyzing the performance and the initiatives in these sectors for the last few days. Today we will look at the crucial agriculture sector and see what has happened during the last 1 year. When the NDA government came to power last year, it had a major challenge on its hands to imbibe the much needed energy into the agriculture sector. Many promises had been made to the farmers, one of which was to raise the MSP using a new formula which will calculate the input costs and will top it with 50%. The farmers' suicides was another major concern which required to be curtailed. The perennial need for more agriculture, for more irrigation rather, better agriculture credit, crop insurance were all areas which needed immediate attention. So what has happened on all these fronts in this last 1 year and how much has been achieved or not achieved? We will discuss all this today with Sudhanshu Trivedi, BJP spokesperson, Hanan, Mollah, General Secretary, All India Kisan Sabha and a former CPI-M MP, Tajamul Haque, former Chairman, Commissioner of Agricultural Costs and Prices, Prof. Sudhir Panwar, President, Kisan Jagriti Manch and Gargi Parsai, Senior Journalist. Welcome to all of you. Mr. Trivedi, what do you think has been the biggest achievement of your government in this last 1 year?
If you look at the entire functioning of our government, right from doing substantive efforts for poverty-stricken downtrodden, to the villagers and the farmers, to containing the inflation, increasing the growth rate, increasing the industrial production, upholding the India's security
We're talking of agriculture,
and sovereignty, and also taking India into the new heights on international
We are
platform.
talking of agriculture in the agriculture sector.
It was a totality. We have done a lot. If we have to look precisely about the agriculture sector.
That's what we are looking
Somehow,
at.
the weather has played a role which has created a more problem. So the perception has become a little bit different, which has been properly exploited by our political opponents, which I do not disagree. But the fact of the matter is that in the case of natural calamity, it was our government which has reduced the criteria from 50% to 33%. We have increased the compensation to 50%. And also we have reduced the quality of purchase for MSP because of this rain, because of the moisture content, the quality has gone down. So we have reduced the quality standards so that the farmer can sell that his grains on the MSP. So we have taken these measures which I don't think has been undertaken by any of the previous government. And in the land acquisition bill, out of the 5 clauses which we have included in that clause number taken out of the consent clause, the first was a rural infrastructure, which has been not included in the previous land acquisition bill. And it was very ironical that for mine allotment the consent clause was not applicable, but for rural infrastructure, means for irrigation or making road in the village or making a power structure in the village, it was required. So we have also tried to pave the way for better village and rural infrastructure for the farmers. And whether it is a Jan Dhan Yojana, somehow it is more related to the farmers.
We will come
Whether
back.
it is a Mudra Bank, it is more related to farmers.
We will come back.
Even the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is more related to the farmers and villagers.
Okay, Mr. Anand Mollah, would you agree with him that, you know, the crucial thing he is talking about is the way they have dealt with the distress of the farmers, because the nature has been very unkind.
You know, the way they are presenting their case, they are only repeating their man ka baat, and they refuse to listen the man ka baat of the farmers. हम किसान के लिए अब क्या अच्छा है मैं तय कर देता हूँ जबरदस्ती, वो सही हो गलत हो, किसान को क्या चाहता है, उसका समस्या क्या है, उसका क्या सुधार करने से वो चाहता है, उसके साथ कोई इंटरेक्शन नहीं है। ये जो एक पैट्रोनाइजिंग एटीट्यूड से हम ये कर दिया वो कर दिया, उससे किसान का नहीं है. हमारा अनुभव यही है पिछले एक साल जो है, last 1 year of this government, this government's role, it is a betrayal to the farmers.
Why do you say that?
Because of that, he promised that Swaminathan Commission report will be implemented in full. In 439 public meeting, he promised. But after coming to power, he gave a statement to the Supreme Court that we cannot implement it.
What about what are those aspects of Swaminathan Commission which needed to be implemented?
One aspect is the cheap inputs. As today, agriculture has become a loss-making venture because cost of inputs have been massive increase. Fertilizer, pesticide, seeds, electricity, and then water, and then diesel, everything increased. But minimum price is less than the cost of production. APC is there here, our ex-chairman. APC, we have always complained that APC, their method of calculation, it is only to cheat the farmers. And it does not give you the actual thing. Second was that 4% interest from the public sector bank to the farmers. Then it was that minimum support price, that C+2. At minimum certain things were there, though we all do not agree every recommendation of Swaminathan, but there are some good recommendation in favor of the farmers. But government said that we are not going to implement it.
So Panwar,
after coming
how do you look at this 1 year? You know, what was it that the farmers were expecting from this government, and what has been given to them, what has been achieved?
Actually, what Modi ji accepted yesterday, that is the, I think, quote of the Modi's speech, that half of the Indian farmer don't know if there is any agriculture ministry at the center. So their life is without any intervention from the agriculture ministry. And I think for the first time the farmers voted for the BJP in so large number. And the reason was that they promised that they will provide the good returns for their crops. But if you look, you take any crop, whether it is wheat, whether it is rice, whether it is cotton, whether it is sugarcane, every crop is fetching low prices. There is the 21,000 crores is the sugarcane arrears. And the government is not doing nothing except meeting the farmers or the industry or anybody. But the farmers is not in mood to gauge that what is the treatment of the farmers who at the central government level. So the reason at the disenchantment of the farmer, first, they don't have any trust on this government now, because hardly there is any help from the government for the
government. Yesterday there were three important initiatives, several important initiatives of the government which the Prime Minister has announced as far as agriculture is concerned. Is subsidy in case of crop failure, which Mr. Trivedi was talking about. It's been now revised from 33% to 33% crop damage to 50% now. And soil health cards, if they are talking about Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana to promote organic farming, every farmer to get 20,000 rupees per acre in 3 years. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana launched to ensure universal access to irrigation. 500 crores price stabilization fund to support market interventions in fruits and vegetables. 1,800 crores for micro irrigation for this year. 1,500 crores for distribution network. 1,000 crores for water resources.
No, if you spread if you spread these numbers to the population of the farmer, you can judge that what
1 rupees per acre. 1 rupees per acre.
If there is the crop damage of in the case of wheat, there is a 58,000 loss. Rupees 58,000 is lost for the farmer
per acre
per hectare. What they announce, and they announce 13,500. So that's from where it comes. And when our sensitivity is like this, that we gauge the farmer problem with the number of suicides, that is the index of the farmer distress. So it is the sensitivity of the government, that what they are doing in Vidarbha, the cotton price is crashed. Where is this 500 crores which you mentioned? It is mainly used now for the onion farmer only. And what about the potato farmers? When this unseasonal rains were there, then potato price is also crashed.
Okay, Mr. Tajamul Haque,
जी
you know, you have been here on this same program several times in the past also discussing about agriculture, prices, MSP and all. You think that there has been any forward movement in this last 1 year? The concerns which you used to express, which you have been expressing for quite some time.
Yes, I think 2-3 things what Mr. Trivedi said. I don't say that they are not doing that, particularly, and he also mentioned that at least they are talking about improving the irrigation facilities, talking about cost reduction through organic farming or natural farming kind of things. These are all positive indications. But then the budget allocated for all these programs are so negligible that it will not make any impact. This is one. Secondly, during the election, if you see the election, Lok Sabha election in 2014, about a year back, they promised so many things to the farmers. One was, as you said, MSP with cost 50% margin above cost. So, I mean, total cost plus 50% margin.
Yes.
And now they are backtracking on that. This is one. Secondly,
That's because the Parliamentary Standing Committee recommended that just 10% above the input cost needs to be given.
I think everybody...
And the interest rate is 4%.
No, that is okay, but what I am saying currently, the whole outlook of the whole understanding of the government or attitude of the government towards the farmers is, I should say, anti-farmer. The previous government was anti-farmers. This government also is anti-farmers. They are talking certain things which they are also not doing. Like they talked about, zero interest-free loan to the small and marginal farmers or to the farmers in general. That they are not talking about.
Yes, Mr. Trivedi, I'll come
They
to
are
you.
not talking about agriculture insurance. Already I know in the party circle there was a discussion that there will be a comprehensive agriculture insurance policy where every farmer and every crop will be covered. That also they are not putting on the agenda currently. And most importantly and most damagingly, the think tank of this present government is anti-farmers. Why I am saying this? Because they say small and marginal farmers are not viable, so they should all leave agriculture.
And
Where do they go?
No, sell the land.
Where do they go? First of all, we are talking about 85% of the farmers in this country who are small and marginal. With such a big number. And second thing is that they don't have education and skills. They have only one skill, which is agriculture. So if you put them out of agriculture under distress, so you know what is going to be the condition.
Okay.
So I think we should not be so careless. We should have a vision.
Okay.
I mean, instead of talking more about smart cities, we should talk about smart villages with good infrastructure, good education, good healthcare centers, insurance, comprehensive insurance policy, good markets, good, roads and things like that.
Okay.
But then there are limitations, I understand. But
Okay,
at least
sir.
they should prepare a vision paper.
Sir, we will come back to you.
perspective plan.
No, I think you have made your points. Yes, Mr. Trivedi, you wanted to react.
If there is an interpretation that the Prime Minister has said that most of the farmers are not knowing about the Agriculture Ministry, yes, of course, because agriculture is a concurrent linked subject and most of the things which is to be delivered on the ground are the responsibility of the state governments. So I am not shedding our responsibility, but I am giving you just one example. If you look at the track record of the Bharatiya Janata Party ruled state in the last 10 years, if there are only those states which are having consistently more than 10% of agriculture growth in the last decade, it is the BJP ruled state like Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. And the first state which is to give electricity to all the villages was Gujarat, now it is Madhya Pradesh. If the irrigation facilities which are very much required for the farmers, I am just responding to the question that we are anti-farmer.
Okay.
The biggest contribution to the irrigation land was done by Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. In Chhattisgarh, when we came into power, it was 15% irrigation land. Now it is 40%. In Maharashtra, it is 16%.
Okay.
Which government, which given the soil card, which given the Kisan credit card,
We'll
which
come to
has
that,
brought
sir.
down the agriculture loans in the previous government I am talking about. From
We will come to that.
14 to 18% to
Mr. Trivedi will
9%, then to 4%, then to 1%.
Mr. Trivedi will come to that. Yes, Gargi. Gargi, how do you look at this? You know, the
And as far as the insurance scheme is concerned, it is being considered under the government, and at appropriate time we will come with a proper insurance scheme.
Okay, Gargi?
As we proposed in the previous government, we were
Okay,
having
sir.
a farm income insurance scheme which has been put on back burner by the UPA government.
Okay, Gargi, the defense of Mr. Trivedi that, you know, agriculture ministry, if you don't hear much about it, it is the states which has to run. So has there been an effort in this last 1 year to empower the states to improve their agricultural scene?
Well, I think the last year has been very difficult for farmers. First of all, they faced drought during Kharif. Then they had this untimely rain and hail which hit the crops. It was a very difficult year. Then on top of that, for this government, it started on the wrong foot by bringing that land bill in which it brought amendments, but it was adamant over social impact assessment and taking consent from landowners. So these 2-3 things happened. The third thing that happened was that the first thing this government did was that it asked states not to give bonus on MSP.
On MSP.
And also the procurement was also limited.
Why was this decision taken? Why did the center tell the states not to give bonus?
No, because because I think it is also related to WTO, because you want to put a cap on MSP, plus you want to procure also to a certain level. And though the government says that government got a better deal out of WTO, but I think at the back of the government's mind are these two things which are an international commitment. If they will come sooner or later. So these are the things that really impacted the farm sector, and I also feel that there was a disconnect between the central government and the farmers. To say that the states will do everything, we have known in the past that states neither have take out the kind of funds they need for farmers.
They don't have the resources.
No, but this time the government has given them 10% more under the Finance Commission. But whether that will be spent on agriculture has been left to the states.
How much of it?
No. And states do not give that kind of priority to agriculture to spend money out of those 10% on agriculture. So, you know, for the center to sit back and say, let the states do it, it's a concurrent subject, water is a state subject, agriculture, that is harming the central government itself, plus it is not reaching to the farmers. You need to monitor. When you say that we have given them more as a drought relief, as a flood relief, as a rain and hail relief, then who is assessing that whether it has reached the farmers? Farmers have been given measly checks of 100 rupees and 700 rupees and all, whereas this government has done, it has raised. But it should reach the farmers. My only concern is it has not reached the farmers, and that is causing more distress to farmers.
Okay, Professor Panwar,
Yeah,
you know the role of the states here. You belong to Uttar Pradesh. You also, you know, represent one of the organizations, one of the commissions of the UP government. So how, you know, this whole thing that states need to take care of these kind of things, and how much can the states take care? The concerns expressed by Gargi.
First, I wish to respond this Sudhanshu's comment that it is the BJP ruled state which is taking care of the farmer.
Yes.
I think for the first time in the history, there is the farmer overdue of the sugarcane in Gujarat. So in Gujarat, there is the state government is also ruled by the BJP, and the central government is
The farmers have not been paid their dues.
the sugarcane dues,
Yes.
farmer dues. And for the first time, in BJP ruled state, whether it is in the Maharashtra, there is a 40% increase in the farmer suicide rates. State has the limited sphere to maneuver in the budget. But unfortunately, central government has rather cut the agriculture budget, this RKVY, and then other even crop husbandry budget is reduced on the premise that we will devolve more fund through the Finance Commission to the states. But in states you have to fight everyday problem. So there is the day-to-day problem. And
So you
state have
agree
to
with
fight.
Gargi that states may actually not use the extra funds or more for 10%?
I'm of the view that center should guide and center should fund the agriculture scheme as it was done in the UPA government.
Okay.
I think I have something to say.
Yes, Mr. Tajamul.
To some extent, I agree with Mr. Trivedi when he says some of these states like Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh have done exceedingly well in terms of agriculture performance. But what is it that you are doing currently? Like in the case of Chhattisgarh, which is the best model in terms of delivery of PDS and also procurement of paddy, now we are trying to dismantle that by saying that we should shift to cash transfer. This is one, because once you go to that, MSP will not be there. So as a result of that, farmers will not have any incentives there. And second thing is, the kind of infrastructure that has been created in Chhattisgarh, one should learn and try to say that this is replicable to other states. That they are not doing. In fact, instead of that, they are saying, no, these things are all old. And recently, Chhattisgarh government also got a circular from the central government that you don't give subsidy. If you give subsidy, then FCI will not procure your paddy. I mean,
exactly.
Why this kind of thing is happening?
No, in fact,
there is no coordination between central government and state government, even in the BJP-ruled states.
Absolutely,
This is
Mr. Trivedi.
unfortunate. And I tell you again in this context, it is again this kind of useless think tank that they have created currently.
Okay.
They are misguiding the government, and they are not taking care of this.
Mr. Trivedi, that question needs to be answered. You have showcased your states which have been ruled by your party, but there is no coordination between the center and states. One second thing is, in the last 1 year in Maharashtra, since your government has come into place there, the suicides of farmers in the Vidarbha region has gone up by 40%. How do you explain that?
First, I will appreciate that at least they acknowledge the efficiency and achievement of the Chhattisgarh government.
No, all three
And on
governments,
the
not
issue
just
of cash
Chhattisgarh.
transfer, since now a larger policy, on the issue of the larger picture, if the policy is being made in such a way that the cash transfer will directly go to the accounts, and we have also provided opening of the accounts. So obviously then the system is changed. Then we have to go according to that system.
There is a problem.
Let him finish, Mr.
Chhattisgarh government
No,
has
Mr. Haque, let him
proved
finish.
that even a PDS system, which is being considered worst operating system in rest of the country, we have proved to perform the best results in that.
Yes.
So I don't think there is any
So
sort
why are you
of
dismantling
misunderstanding
it?
with the government. It is just the transition phase of policy changing and according to those things. And one more thing I would like to put in the knowledge. Do you remember in WTO the previous government has taken a decision? They have almost agreed to abolition of the MSP. It was our government in the last September which has taken a firm stand. And the previous government was posing a threat that if we take a firm stand, we may have to opt out of WTO. But our government remained in WTO,
Mr. Trivedi.
and also we convinced and persuaded the WTO to buckle down on the issues.
Mr.
So this
Trivedi.
was one of the major achievement
Mr.
and
Trivedi.
the concern of the farmers which our government was having.
Mr. Trivedi, the question is this. If you are taking credit for what you have done in WTO, then why this circular or direction to the state governments not to give more bonus to the farmers? What is the motivation behind this order which you have given to the state governments?
Especially when the CACP does not reflect the input costs. CACP, MSP.
Mr. Trivedi?
I am not having the exact details of this thing, but to the best of my knowledge, since some state governments are giving those things and then acquiring some more, asking for more funds from center, and in the previous year of financial budget, the loss shown by the previous government was 4.8% to the GDP, and in practical terms it was almost 6%. And suddenly the weather has also created a problem.
You are
So
not
out
answering the
of
question.
financial constraint, there may have been a constraint on the part of the central government.
Okay. But Mr. Haque, is that the problem?
No, I think there is a little more than that. More than that, in the sense, on the question of cash transfer, which he said they have opened an account that they are going to do it. This is impossible. There is no experience internationally where they have done it on such a large scale with so many people. And in the case of India, rural India, as of today, the latest RBI data shows that 37% of the households in the villages, they don't have account, even after Jan Dhan Yojana. So if this is the, then secondly, another thing is, Jan Dhan, even after this, you cannot transfer cash instead of food, because food is distributed, given to the people per family and per member in a family, whereas account holders, maybe several account holders in the same family or even otherwise, there is no synchronization. Secondly, a country like Thailand, which has done it in the case of urban areas, they could not do it for the last 5-6 years. They are trying to do it. They could not do it in the rural areas. So there are enough examples throughout, and still they believe these useless experts that they have put in place in the Niti Aayog. I don't understand.
Okay.
If they have,
Okay.
if BJP has to be saved, they should take care of this.
Okay. Mr. Hanan Mollah, now the concern is what? The concern of the farmer is that, he gets, now that the government has announced these schemes, at least would you like to wait and see that some of these schemes which the Prime Minister, which the government has announced will work at least?
Many programs are continuing. The credit card, soil testing,
Soil card is supposed to be a new and innovative.
These are program was there earlier also. But these are not implemented,
No, but Gujarat
But
has done it
actually,
successfully.
what
One should
happened
acknowledge that
in
they have done
Sabha,
it.
Gujarat
has done successfully, and that is the reason why I wanted to do it all over the country.
Most of the part it is not
This is a
done.
good decision on the part of the government, I must say. But
Okay.
What they are promising, these are more on rhetoric. Today they have started, because of that, farmers are very unhappy. To convince them, today they started the DD Kisan, because they have to मन का बात बताना है उसको. तो ये तो है ना, campaign करेंगे, we are
Gargi?
friendly and all these
I
things.
don't agree. The Kisan soil card is a very good scheme. If it is implemented properly, farmers need to know about the health of their soil. They need to be guided through what kind of fertilizer, what kind of seed they will use. Of course, extension services in our country, services in our country are really not very strong, and we need to see how this will work out. Secondly, for the Kisan channel, I think that it's a good initiative.
It's a good initiative.
Because
That we have to say it in-
farmers also have a right
Absolutely.
to information.
Professor Panwar?
And they need to know about the weather, they need to know about the market
that is true.
intelligence.
Yes.
So
Professor
you
Panwar?
cannot just dismiss it
Soil
outright.
health,
The new initiatives of the government.
I have different perspective.
Yes, please.
Suppose if you have the soil health card and you have proper analysis of your soil, and there is the recommendation that you have to put the phosphatic fertilizer, but then the cost inhibition is there. So there is the need to rationalize the prices of the urea as well as the phosphatic fertilizer, so that the proper mix can be there. There was the opportunity. They can shift some subsidy from urea to the phosphatic fertilizer. I think government can do that, but they are not doing that. And now they are planning that we will give direct subsidy to the farmer for the urea.
Okay. So, but do you finally do you agree that some of the distress which the farmers are facing today has been due to the nature's fury?
Nature's fury, that is there.
So
that is there, but for that he is looking towards the government.
So
and for that reason, the UP government made the compensation rates twice. When the central government raised it to 1.5 times, then UP government made it twice.
Double that.
Yeah, double that.
So so it is now left to the state governments also to handle this kind of distress. Anyway, we have come to the end of the time. The fact is that, as Mr. Trivedi right at the beginning, he himself admitted that there is a problem in the agriculture sector. Everybody agrees to that. Now, how it will be tackled in the coming year, we'll have to wait and watch. This year, the government cannot take much credit as far as this sector is concerned. Hopefully, it will do better in the coming year. Thanks to all my guests. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue in the big picture same time tomorrow.